News First, I'm Saturanga Haporachi.
And I'm Michaela Fernando. Before we head into more news in detail, here's a look at your headlines.
Accidents in Min area and Puttlam kills 4. Death penalty will be imposed on convicted terrorists, says Sajith Premadasa. Gotabaya Rajapaksa assures legal protection to make fearless decisions. Police disperse university protest in Colombo. Mahesh Senanayake unveils his manifesto.
Taking a look at some tragic news now, one person died and 60 others were injured in an accident that occurred along the Colombo-Batiklo main road. 2 buses collided onto each other in the Muan Palliser Mineria area. Another accident that occurred in Puttlam claimed the lives of 3 and injured 8 others.
A van had toppled this morning at the 4th mile post area along the Puttlam-Anuradhapura main road. 3 people, including a child, died, while 8 others were hospitalized. According to police, the deceased were the driver of the van, a 32-year-old woman and a 4-year-old child. According to police, the driver had lost control of the vehicle and hit a tree. The injured are receiving treatment at the Puttlam hospital. 2 of the injured in critical condition were transferred to the National Hospital. The group had met with the accident while on their way back from a pilgrimage. According to our correspondent, the group travelling in the vehicle were residents of Nathandiya, Kalutara and Bangadeniya. 2 buses collided head-on along the Batiklo-Colombo main road in Muan Palliser area at around 11:30 last night. The driver of the SLTB bus died in the accident while 60 others were injured. The SLTB bus had attempted to overtake a vehicle and collided on the private bus travelling in the opposite direction. The deceased driver was 53 years of age. 45 of the injured were admitted to the Polonnaruwa District Hospital. 13 of them are women. According to our correspondent, the driver of the private bus has also been hospitalized. According to sources at the hospital, 5 of the injured are in critical condition. Flow of traffic along the main road was disrupted for nearly 2 hours. According to our correspondent, the Min area police had taken steps to remove the debris from the road using a crane.
You are watching footage that is aired using a mobile phone. This is the first instance that such technology is being used in a studio, in a newsroom, and that is Studio R at News First. Continuing with your local news, police fired tear gas and water cannons to disperse a protest march organized by the Inter-University Students' Federation this evening. Acting police media spokesperson DIG Ajit Rohana said that 25 students who participated in the protest march have been arrested. Ajit Rohana said the students were arrested for blocking a main road, unlawful assembly and staging an illegal protest as per the Presidential Election Act. The students are due to be produced before the Colombo Fort Magistrates Court.
The protest march began in Fort Colombo. Police fired tear gas and water cannons when the protesters marched towards the Lotus roundabout. The students' demand for an increase in the Mahapola scholarship sufficient to meet the cost of living. Heavy traffic was reported in the area due to the protest.
presidential candidate of the New Democratic Front, Sajith Premadasa, attended a number of rallies organised in the Mathura and Galle districts today.
Large crowds attended the rally organised in Karandeniya, Galle, despite the heavy showers that battered the district throughout the day. Presidential candidate Sajith Premadasa received a warm reception at the rally. A group of local government representatives from the Sri Lanka Freedom Party, representatives of trade unions also pledged their support to Sajith Premadasa.
We have a responsibility to launch programs to provide concessions to not only expatriates in Karandeniya but in the entire country. I would like to state that we will take steps to create a pension scheme for these expatriates. We have planned to launch a special pension scheme where the government will contribute a certain sum and there will also be a personal contribution from the expatriates. I would also like to state that I will provide tax concessions for these expatriates who purchase vehicles in the country. Although our brothers and sisters are working abroad, they are all Sri Lankans. They are citizens of Sri Lanka. And no matter where citizens of our country work, I believe that they have the right to vote. I would like to tell you that a progressive president with a heart who works for the people will be elected this time.
Another rally was held in Jayala, Gampaha today.
Our opponents are questioning us as to where we can find the money to do all of this. I would like to ask them, where did the funds to construct the Lotus Tower come from? Who did you take loans from to construct the Suryavawa cricket grounds? If the Lotus Tower can be constructed, if cricket grounds can be built, then why is it a mistake to provide lunch to 4.4 million children in our country? Why is providing these children with a pair of shoes wrong? A mansion has been built in Jaffna for the president to live in. It has a swimming pool and a gym. If mansions can be constructed in Jaffna for the president to enjoy, why are they disturbed if we provide the Samurdhi and the Janasavya together? Who says there is no money? I would like to tell you that there is enough and more money. The problem is that our opponents have certain dreams while on their way to become president. They dream of converting the national treasury into a private property owned by their family.
Sajith Premadasa also said that he will impose the maximum punishment against people connected to terrorism.
Groups and individuals who are involved in terrorism will be brought before the law by us, and we will have to impose the death penalty against them. Who will speak on behalf of the children and the families that were slaughtered in Kochikade, Katuapitiya and the Zion Church in Batiklo? Who will represent them? Is life imprisonment the maximum punishment that we can give those involved in these heinous crimes? No, my friends. As one country, without any divisions in religion or race, if any allegation of terrorism is proved against anyone under our government, even regrettably, we will take steps to impose the death penalty against them. Then people who are involved in these acts of terrorism will think twice, thrice, or even more before getting involved in these kinds of acts. The group who planned that deadly attack has been apprehended. I am strongly of the stance that the death penalty should be imposed against them.
Presidential candidate of the Sri Lanka Podu Jana Peramuna, Gotabaya Rajapaksa, attended rallies organised in Kandy today.
Large crowds attended the rally despite heavy rains in the area. This is how Gotabaya Rajapaksa was welcomed to the rally organized in Bulletin. We developed the country and the economy and gave it to them. Today they have destroyed the country that we developed. We clearly state that we must hand over the country to a person who can develop the country. We must hand it over to a person who has a vision and a plan for the future of our children. We must appoint a person who has shown us that he can work. They appointed a minister for highways from Kandy. He couldn't even construct the highway. He must first be able to make the road to his village. If he cannot do that, what's the point in talking about him? Since the day this government came into power, they covered up all of it. What is the point in voting for this government? Yes, you understood the difference. Otherwise, they would have done to me what they did to Gaddafi. The government that we create will be a transparent government with discipline that will serve the people of the country. We will create a government where the state sector is both efficient and productive. In the past, it was because we worked with the talented people in the state sector that we were able to win the war and bring development to the country. We did not consider seniority, but we gave positions based on meritocracy. We chose talented people in the state sector and put them in positions of power so that they can take proper decisions. But when this government came into power, they took these secretaries of ministries and state sector employees to court. They took them to the FCID. They intimidated them. Today, they do not take decisions for the country. There were political influences. We will resurrect the state sector services in this country. We will appoint talented people to the right positions. We will free them from political influences. We will provide them with the legal safety they need to take decisions for the country.
නිවැරදි තීරණ ගැනීමට අවශ්‍ය නීතිමය රැකවරණය අපි ඔවුන්ට ලබා දෙනවා.
A public rally of the National People's Power Movement was held in Vellawaya yesterday. The rally was held under the auspices of presidential candidate Anurakumara Dissanayake.
A group including activists of the JVP and provincial public representatives attended the rally.
They removed Mahinda Rajapaksa from power and appointed Ranil Wickremesinghe. It has been 5 years since that happened. The thinking now is this government should also be sent home. Yes, it should be defeated. However, who should be brought into power instead? Is it Mahinda's rule which should be established? The government, which was sent home in 2015 for looting public funds, for increasing the cost of goods, for increasing taxes, for selling our lands to companies, for removing the fertilizer subsidy and for removing the farmers' pension. Do not establish the government which was defeated in 2015. All these issues were created through politics. These governments destroyed the education sector. They also destroyed the health sector. These governments created a country without a law and order. Therefore, these crises were created by politics and the only way out of it is through politics. Therefore, it is time to rid the country from the bad politics which has been persistent for the past 71 years. The 16th of November is the day to do that.
Presidential candidate of the National People's Party, Mahesh Senanayake, unveiled his election manifesto this evening.
The event was held at the Foundation Institute in Colombo. The event took place under the theme Changing the 71-Year Political Culture with the Right Leadership. Former Auditor General Gamini Vijay Singha was present. During the event, Mahesh Senanayake unveiled his election manifesto and launched his official website. Mahesh Senanayaka's election manifesto is a collective of policies spread across multiple branches, including a responsible governance, a cabinet limited to 20 members, strengthening of national security, enforcement of law, education and the development of higher education.
The first thing to expect is one law equally enforced on everyone. There will be only one country and one law for everyone. Everyone will be treated equally. The biggest problem in this country is that the President, the Prime Minister, the Cabinet and all MPs are acting above the law. The law is only enforced upon those who follow the law. That is why this country is so corrupt. Such corruption can only be eradicated by someone as brave and unbiased as myself. We can forget racism, religious differences and gender inequality and develop this country. In order to take this country forward, we must strengthen our economy. Our election manifesto gives the highest importance to economic development. We will create a well-disciplined political culture in this country. Such a disciplined culture can only be created by our party. Through our election campaign, through our election manifesto, we can achieve all of these targets.
Welcome back to the news.
Taking a look at more political news, opposition leader Mahinda Rajapaksa visited Kandy today.
After engaging in religious observances at the temple of the sacred tooth relic, the opposition leader called on the Mahanayaka Theras.
ස්ථීරයි අනිවාර්ය මූණෙන් පේන්නේ නැද්ද
The opposition leader, who arrived at the Malwatu Mahavihara, called on Most Venerable Tibbatuave Sri Sumangala Thera and the Anunayaka of the Malwata chapter, Most Venerable Dimulkumule Bimaradharma Thera, and obtained blessings. Thereafter, the opposition leader arrived at the Askiri Mahavihara and called on the Mahanayaka, Most Venerable Varakagura Sri Jnanaratana Thera, and the Anunayaka, Venerable Anamaduwe Sri Dhammadasi Thera. The opposition leader also called on the Anunayaka of the Malwatu chapter, the Siam sect. Attending a meeting in Talatuoya today, this is what former Minister S.P. Disanayaka had to say. Today we need an era of King Dutugamanu. We need a leader like King Parakramabahu. This era needs the Rajapaksas. Gotabaya Rajapaksa. People living in the upcountry are ready to hand over the crown to you and your elder brother. We are ready for that.
Meanwhile, parliamentarian Vijit Vijayamuni Soiza expressed these views speaking at a rally of the New Democratic Front in Kiribathgoda yesterday.
We are not scared of Gotabaya. We are not scared of Mahinda. We are not their colonials. I was first the Deputy Minister of Prisons, then Education, Wildlife after that. Then I was put to the schools and then again to Wildlife. Afterwards, it was the Prisons Department.
යකෝ නියම වැඩේ මම ඇමති අපේ ලේකම්ලා ඇමතිවරයා කියන දේ නෙවෙයි කරන්නේ බැසිල් කියන දේ.
Although I was the minister, the secretary to the ministry follows the orders of Basil Rajapaksa. 70 vehicles were brought down. Basil brought down those vehicles. For what? To get commissions. There is an elephant registry in Sri Lanka. These people hid this. During the rule of the Rajapaksas, they thought the elephants should be kept as pets. They sold elephants for 8 to 10 million rupees. They hid the elephant registry and did all of this. I said that there is no elephant registry, but the Director General of Wildlife says that the registry is there. I told the Director General to get a book for the registration of elephants instead of writing it down on A4 sheets. They did not want to do that because the Rajapaksas were stealing elephants. They hid the elephant registry and stole elephants. Although these slaves do not know about these things, we have all the details of the Rajapaksas. They went in search of the sword of Prince Sapumal. They searched all across the country. They brought down machines to scan it and fixed it on aircrafts and scanned the entire country. They marked out some locations. There were people in these regions, farmers and people who take care of elephants because these areas are close to villages. So they sent the grease yaka. Do you remember?
ගෝවියෝ අලින්ට මුර කරන අයෝ මේවා කැලෑ ආශ්‍රිතවනේ තියෙන්නේ. මුං එව්වා එකෙක් මොකෙද්ද? ග්‍රීෂ්‍යකා මතකද? අම්මට උඩු ගෑනු වෙලා අසින්නින් වෙලා පියලා ඔක්කොම කරලා දෙයියනේ කියලා දොරවල් වහගෙන මිනිස්සු බදාගෙන නිදා ගන්නවා. ඇයි වෙන කරන්න දෙයක් නැහැනේ.
They went searching for this for a long time and then went to the Naga Viharya in Kotte. There they killed 2 Theras. We do not know if they took the sword or not. They did not stop there. Next, they broke into the Katuge. They took valuable items from there as well. These items are invaluable. They are national assets. They robbed all of this.
Here are some of the views expressed at a media briefing organized by the Sri Lanka Pudujana Peramuna today.
The Rauf Hakim ඇමතිවරයා
Minister Rauf Hakim is ethical, and if he considers this attack as a terrorist attack, he would have revealed these details at the inception when he was appointed a member of this Parliament Special Committee. But what did he do? Not only did he engage in the activities of the committee, he also took steps to remove all the Muslim ministers from this government. We would like to make this request from Sajid Premadasa. Remove the group including Rauf Hakim and Rishad Badiuddin from their positions.
ඔවුන්ගේ තනතුරු වලින් අස් කරන්න කටයුතු කළ යුතුයි.
අපි දැක්කා හකීම් මැතිතුමා පෙන්නනවා මේ ඔබතුමාලගේ මඩ කලපුවේ සංවිධායකතුමාත් රිල්වාන් බලන්න ගිහිල්ලා කියලා.
ඒකබද්ධ විපක්ෂයට සම්බන්ධ.
If anyone who is a part of or remotely related to the joint opposition has had relations with Zaharan and others as a party, we will take disciplinary action against them. We believe the institutions which exercise the law in the country would take the necessary decisions regarding these. We will not join hands with anyone who is related to extremist attacks.
අපි සම්බන්ධ කරගන්නේ
මම පොලිසියට පැමිණුම් මෞර්යවරයා මේ මහින්ද රාජපක්ෂ මහත්තයාත් එක්ක හිටු ෆොටෝ සිටින් ඊයේ පෙන්නවා. ඒක සත්‍ය බවක් තියනවද?
ෆොටෝ එක
There may be a photograph. If Minister Rauf Hakim is a Maulavi, he can speak with any political leader. What fate will befall the Maulavi when this complaint is lodged? Why did Rauf Hakim remain silent for 6 months until this surfaced in the media?
මාස 6ක් නිහඬව හිටියා.
General Secretary of the Janatha Vimuktu Peramuna, Tilvin Silva, expressed the following views at a rally held in Polgahavela yesterday.
If Buddhist monks follow the recommendations of the Malwatu, Asgiri, Ramani and Amarapura chapters, can they tie Pirit Nool on Gotabaya Rajapaksa's hand? Can they vote for him? If there are true Buddhists, can they go against these religious leaders and vote for Gotabaya Rajapaksa? No. Can the Catholics vote for him when the Archbishop has asked them not to vote for the candidates who have court cases? The Muslims should not vote for Gotabaya either. No matter what religion you follow, if you are really true to your conscience, you shouldn't be able to vote for Gotabaya Rajapaksa. They were blaming the construction of the Sharia University in the past. Now it seems like they are okay with it. It looks like there is no Sharia University now. The politics in our country is so dirty that they create racial disparity and profit from it. They have no moral principles at all. What baffles us is that, can a person who has a conscience stay in a party like this? Can an intellectual person even support a party like this? They participate in a fast unto death with one party today, and the next day they jump into another party.
We apologize for this slight technical difficulty there. The General Secretary of the Sri Lanka Communist Party, D.E.W. Gunasekara, expressed his views on the current state of the economy. He was speaking at a conference held in Borella yesterday.
Today our foreign debt is $55 billion US. Our local debt is 11,000 billion. The IMF and the World Bank can no longer come and save us from this crisis. We need to find a new strategy to build our economy. If foreign investment is not coming in when Ranil Wickremesinghe came into power, will it come again? You cannot change an individual and expect foreign capital to flow in. If there is a Minister of Finance, a Prime Minister and a President who cannot properly understand these external factors, we cannot manage the economy of the country properly. We have stepped into a new age.
Still in political news, a group of electoral and district organisers of the SLFP in a media briefing held in Colombo today expressed the following opinions regarding the organisation for the protection of the Sri Lanka Freedom Party.
in 2015 and attempted to sabotage the election, they give 20 of these. For an MP, they give 100 of these. For an electoral organizer, they give around 2.5 to 3 million rupees. The Organisation for the Protection of the SLFP is a cat's paw of Chandrika Bandaranaike Kumaratunga. That is very clear. Letters are addressed to our houses, signed by her, asking us to join this organisation. She and her husband broke off this party to join another when her own mother was the leader of the party. Now she is saying that she loves this party. Now she is claiming ownership of the party. Then if she has ownership of the party, why in the world did she break off the party and go away? When we do the hard work and build the party, she comes back to take credit for all of that.
රට හැරලා ගිහිල්ලා 93 වෙනකොට අපි සියලු ග්‍රවුන්ඩ් එක හදලා විකට් හිටවලා ඔක්කොම කරලා තිබ්බට පස්සේ එතුමිය ආවා බැට් කරන්න. ඇවිල්ලා 6 පාරවල් දෙකක් තුනක් ගහලා එතුමිය තමයි man of the match.
She is trying to drag the party down. Please settle the grudge you have with the Rajapaksa family outside. Do not try to destroy the SLFP. There is another person who is showing a lot of love towards the SLFP. That is Kumara Velgama. We are all aware as to why he is weeping these crocodile tears. He is helpless. The reason is that there were problems in his department, and when the law was enacted, it resulted in one person attached to his department being the same fate. Minister Sajith Premadasa, Freedom Party. I have been paying a sum of 3,000 rupees every month as my membership fees. In the end, Mahinda Rajapaksa has swallowed our party whole. He set up a new party and ended the Sri Lanka Freedom Party. Now, I would like to tell our remaining party supporters that we must defeat Gotabaya Rajapaksa if we are to protect the Sri Lanka Freedom Party. We must protect the SLFP. If not, the entire party will disappear and only the building will remain.
අපි අතින් අඩුපාඩු වෙලා තියෙනවා මම නෑ කියන්නේ.
We have certain shortcomings, I won't deny that, but we have created a better society than what was. We have come to a point where we have strengthened the middle class of the society. We will continue this or not. After the April 21st attacks, I went to the Ministry of Defence and started to work. And by that evening, we had captured the first group in Debatagota. Within 3 to 4 days, we knew who the group was. Now every living member is in custody. We are continuing the investigations. I think this is the fastest time span in which terrorists were arrested. But there was one problem there. The information had come in before. What was done? Why wasn't action taken? We could have covered up all of this, but we didn't. We appointed a parliamentary select committee and asked them to rectify the mistakes, to strengthen your rights. It is to fulfill these duties that we have named our party's deputy leader, Sajith Premadasa, as the presidential candidate.
සජිත් ප්‍රේමදාස ඇමතිතුමා ජනාධිපති අපේක්ෂකයා හැටියට පත් කළා තියෙනවා.
ලසන්ත වික්‍රමතුංග මැතිතුමාගේ ආදරණීය දියණිය.
A case was filed against him by the daughter of Lasantha Vikramatunga for the murder of her father. Even here, to ensure his safety, he betrayed the entire army of Sri Lanka, including his brother. He did this to save himself and claim immunity. This is the truth. The people must know about this. He betrayed the war heroes of the country and his brother to save his own skin.
ඒ අභීත රණවිරුවන්වත් පාවලා දුන්නා.
Meanwhile, KD Lalkantha expressed these views at the opening ceremony of the campaign office of the National People's Power Movement in Nikkavaratia.
There is a scandalous bunch of around 500 people in local politics. They are not from the capitalist class. Our brothers and sisters sometimes claim that the capitalist system should be changed. However, this group I am talking about does not belong to the capitalist class. They have become a headache to the capitalist class as well. They are like pirates. They terrorize the capitalist class and obtain commissions from them. This group destroys the country to enrich the lives of their families. This group hands out silk cloths to people from time to time, and then the people are deceived by it and vote for them again. This group of around 500 people should bear responsibility for the state our country is in. The other party that should be held responsible is the older generation of our country, because they went along with this group and did not look for another answer. KD Lalkantha also commented on the claims regarding the recommendations which supposedly have been put forward by political parties representing the North. The political parties representing the North have put forward 13 proposals. Now groups of youngsters are rising up against those elite groups, and in order to stop others from joining them, these elites have put forward proposals to show that they are with the people, bringing up past events of division. There is no point in stressing over these matters. Have these proposals ever seen the light of day? This is nothing but a set of 13 proposals put forward to deceive the people.
අපිට එහෙම දේරුම් ගත්තම ඒ ප්‍රශ්නෙට උත්තරේ දෙන්න.
ඔබතුමාලා කොහොමද කියන්නේ ජනතාවට මනාප ලකුණු ගන්න කියනවද මොකද්ද?
150කට වඩා දින.
We have a strong belief that the person who wins will not get 50%. Those who feel like they will lose are asking people for the second vote. Gotabaya Rajapaksa and Sajith Premadasa keep asking people for the second vote. They do it in a secretive manner. We at the NPP will not ask for the second vote, not even in secret. We do not have a debate regarding the second vote. The reason for that is we have joined this campaign to win. If we believe we can win, we do not need the second vote.
එතන අපිව දිනනවායි කියලා විශ්වාසයක් අපි ළඟ තියෙනවා නම් අපිට දෙවෙනි මනාපයක් ඉල්ලන්න ඕන කමක් නැහැ.
The weekly media briefing organised by the Sri Lanka Podujana Peramuna was held with the support of the Sri Lanka Freedom Party as well.
Though Mr. Sajith Premadasa is the nominal UNP candidate, behind him is the same old gang. The same old bond scam gang is behind him. His hands have been tied by resolution of the United National Party that Mr. Ranil Wickremesinghe should continue to be the party leader, that he will continue to be the Prime Minister, that some of the ministers who are involved in the bond scam will be again back in the cabinet. So this is not acceptable, not only to us, not only to the public, but also to many parts of the UNP itself. As this campaign develops, you can see who is the candidate that is giving a rational view regarding the future. You will also see it in the manifesto tomorrow. Who is seriously addressing issues and who is talking of a technology-based future.
If you don't have a Prime Minister-President combination that can work together, under whatever government, this country is going to be unstable. This is a combination. Gotabaya Rajapaksa, Mahinda Rajapaksa combination is a proven combination for success. People want a proper combination that can deliver to develop this country financially and otherwise. So for that, we have a combination. Whereas the UNP, Sajith Premadasa, every word that he talks is against the policies of Ranil Wickremesinghe. Ranil Wickremesinghe himself, together with his camp, has declared that he is going to be the prime ministerial candidate. So there itself, we see that they are not working together. If they are not working together, if they are not ready to work together, what can Sri Lanka expect from that candidate?
Sri Lankan Freedom Party is a party which has always worked for the benefit of the party. We have been left-oriented. We have always got the support from the right-thinking people of this country. Therefore, with the support of the SLFP, we will govern this country for the betterment of the people. There is no point in having a leader who is elected with a minority of the majority community and a majority of the minority community. Because you cannot take decisions for the betterment of the country and you cannot take decisions to solve issues faced by the minority communities.
Today we see Sarath Amulgama making a special statement at a press conference. He says very clearly that all Sajith Premadasa is on stage with the fellows who did the central bank robbery. I would like to ask Mr. Amulgama very clearly, when your daughter's channel got 350 million rupees for the local government campaign from the UNP, that time what money did they get? Is it the central bank money? They were happy to receive that money. But today this has become central bank money. But Mr. Amulgama must see for once, when he gets into a port to a platform, onto your right and left, you see all sorts of rogues sitting there, all sorts of fellows who have gone to jail and come.
Taking a look at some local news now, the 54th anniversary of the Hotel Association of Sri Lanka was held in Colombo yesterday.
Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe, Non-Cabinet Minister of Public Distribution and Economic Reforms Dr. Harsha De Silva and Professor G.L. Pires were present at the event.
Now they want to fly into Batiklo. I've agreed that we expand the Batiklo runway
up to about very close to Lepers Island so that you could take a 70-seater in. So the basic infrastructure, the plans are there. It's your promotion with your job, it's training with your job, and I think our job is basically look at policies and programs. So I don't want to take any more of your time, though Professor GLP will disagree with me. The only way to get in forward is you met our candidate today, get him in it.
I think there's a case to look at bold and innovative ways to attract repeat visits and command a bigger share of wallet from foreign visitors, especially those of certain financial means and lifestyle demographics. Sri Lankan tourism has enjoyed a great period of development in the 10 years after the country closed the chapter on a long period of civil war. The road system has proved amazingly well. There are new facilities for tourists and new hotels have mushroomed, offering a broader and more interesting mix of accommodation choices. The quality of hotels in Sri Lanka is first class. I rate them personally very highly. Take it from someone who has travelled widely and perhaps too frequently for his wife's liking. Everybody's immediate concern is getting visitor traffic back on track. But I'm going to risk saying something counterintuitive, which is keep building. There's still plenty of room and opportunity for further development in Sri Lanka.
Here are some more interesting views expressed on the political arena. Up next is the big fight.
The big fight.
Vimal Veeravansha.
එදා මේ රට බේරගන්න පුළුවන් වුණා නම් ගෝඨා මහින්ද සුසංයෝගයට.
If the Gota-Mahinda combination was able to end the war in the country, then they definitely can reduce the tax burden existing at present. Putano will understand this. They are attempting to treat the Ranavidugaya. He says he will arrive at houses in the night and look into the welfare of the people. He also says he will track the location of the midwives with a push of a button. This is an interesting button. Putano's father is the one who provided terrorists with weapons and slaughtered more than 500 police officers at once.
පුතානෝගේ පියානෝ තමයි කොටියට ආයුධ දීලා පොලිස් නිලධාරීන් 500 ගාණක් එකපාරට මරලා දැමුවේ.
Ranjan Ramanayaka.
සජිත් ප්‍රේමදාස මහත්තයාගේ පියානෝ තමයි මැයි පළවෙනිදා ලෝක කම්කරු දිනේ තමුන්ගේ ජීවිතය පොදු ජනතාව වෙනුවෙන්.
Sajid Premadas's father is the one who gave away his life on behalf of the general public on the 1st of May on World Labour Day. He is the late R. Premadasa. Do not speak ill of him. He is the father of the nation. I would say this to Vimal. When Vimal goes for meetings these days, there is no one at home. There is a rumour circulating that while he is at meetings at night, various boys are playing the piano at home.
මම විමල් මහත්තයාට මෙහෙම කියනවා. විමල් මහත්තයා මේ ටිකේ රැට මීටින් වල යද්දී ගෙදර කවුරුත් නැහැ. ආරංචියක් තියෙනවා මෙයා රැට මීටින් වල ඇවිල්ලා හිටි. මෙයාගේ ගෙදර තියෙන පියානෝව කොල්ලෝ ගහලා යනවා කියලා.
Therefore, Vimal, please take care of the piano at your house, because we have received information which claimed that one person who had attempted to play the piano had died after an overdose.
එයිද විමල් මහත්තයෝ තමුන්නාසගේ ගෙදර තියෙන පියානෝ පොඩක් ආරක්ෂා කරලා තියන්න. මොකද අපිට ආරංචි කවුද එක්කෙනෙක් අධි මාත්‍රාවක් අරගෙන පියානෝ ගහන්න ගිහිල්ලා අනේ කොල්ලා මලා.
The big fight.
Now, presidential candidate Sajid Premadasa had invited presidential candidate Gotabaya Rajapaksa for an open debate. Both factions expressed their views in this regard.
NDF presidential candidate Sajid Premadasa says Gotabaya Rajapaksa is yet to respond to his challenge for a presidential debate. Sajid Premadasa says Sri Lanka's voters deserve a president who is not afraid of defending their ideas and deserve a president with the courage to face challenges rather than flee in the face of fear. Before inviting Gotabaya Rajapaksa for a debate, Sajid Premadasa must first respond to the questions posed by Vasantha Senanayaka. First answer those questions. After those questions are answered, Sajid Premadasa can decide who he should invite for debates and whether debates should be held or not. We oppose Gotabaya Rajapaksa joining Sajid Premadasa for any sort of debate. We would never allow Gotabaya Rajapaksa to fall to such a level.
පහළ මට්ටමකට වැටෙන්න ඉඩ දෙන්නේ නැහැ.
Though he approves it, we don't.
ප්‍රසිද්ධ විවාදයකට
Even if the ancestors of Gotabaya Rajapaksa urged him to come forward for a debate, he would never do so. Gotabaya Rajapaksa was in the USA. He must have seen how Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton came forward for an open debate. Even Barack Obama was in an open debate before that. Russia's Putin, India's Narendra Modi, Lee Kuan Yew, they all came forward for open debates with their opponents. If Gotabaya Rajapaksa wishes, he could have his brother with him. He could use the call a friend option to seek assistance from his brother to answer the questions posed at the debate. Whatever the options are, he must come forward for a debate and answer the questions.
විවාදයකට එන්න ඕන. හැබැයි ඇවිල්ලා බබ් කියන්නේ නැතුව බුහා කියලා හිනාවෙන්නේ නැතුව අහන ප්‍රශ්නෙට උත්තර දෙන්න.
How much are we in debt? Well, according to the Auditor General's Department, per person debt in 2018 amounted to approximately 529,000 rupees. This is an increase of 16% compared to the previous year. The report further warns that the increase in state recurrent expenditure and the reduction in public investment will hinder development and the country's ability to repay its debt obligations.
The Auditor General in a report points out since 2006 the government had failed to achieve development targets due to its debt obligation. Since 2006, actual public investment was considerably lower when compared with pledged budget estimates for public investments. The report adds a significant amount of total borrowings were utilized for the daily expenses of the government, in other words, recurrent expenditure. State recurrent expenditure since 2006 to 2018 had continuously dominated more than 70% of total state expenditure. As per calculations of the Auditor General's Department, total borrowings in 2018 amounted to 4,059 billion rupees, while public investment during the year was only 625 billion rupees. The report further points out, after 2012, the trade balance had continuously depreciated as past and present governments had not taken sufficient steps to strengthen the export industry and establish import substitutions. Speaking exclusively to Newsfirst, retired economist and former international consultant to Asian Development Bank Manila, Senaka Aberatna said, in response to the unhealthy increase in state borrowings, the government must focus more on obtaining project loans as they are much cheaper.
The debt stock is increasing in absolute terms much faster than GDP growth. In 2010, that ratio was around 72%. Now it's around 83%. There was the famous economist who's now dead and gone, called Milton Friedman. And Milton Friedman said that once the government debt to GDP ratio reaches 60%, the banks own the government. He was trying to make a point that once you crush that 60% threshold, you are in dangerous territory. But we have gone way over. We are now 83%. The interest payments are largely now financed through commercial borrowing, which is not a good practice. So that is an unhealthy practice which is being continued by the present government. It was started by the previous government. The reason why the government has to resort to commercial borrowing is because our foreign reserves are extremely low. Well, one problem is that there's a lack of information.
Yes.
So, I mean, the people or the masses, if you will, really don't know what's going on because there's a lack of transparency, right? And they may not understand what all these issues are. So there has to be a lot more information available to the public as to what is going on, and also to correct this notion that money comes from the trees.
The Sumati Awards is currently being held at the Nelum Pokuna Theatre. A.F. Jones Exporters Ceylon Private Limited, a subsidiary of the Capital Maharaja Organisation Limited, won the Best Commercial of the Year for their flagship product, Apete, just a while ago.
The winner of the Sumati Best TV Commercial of the Year. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for A.F. Jones Exporters Ceylon Private Limited with the ad agency Time and Space Private Limited for the commercial Ape Tea. Congratulations to you. Right here at the 24th Sumati Awards 2019, our winner of the Best TV Commercial. Aerospace Private Limited and 8th Jones Exporters Ceylon Private Limited for...
Let's now take a look at your international roundup.
Hello there and welcome to International Roundup for the day. You're joining me, Devi Paldano. Now, we reported yesterday that 39 dead bodies were found in a refrigerated container in Essex in the UK. Now, reports have emerged that the 39 dead bodies that were found were of Chinese nationalities. Police are continuing to question the lorry driver Mo Robinson, 25-year-old, who was arrested on suspicion of murder. Officers in Northern Ireland have raided 2 houses and the National Crime Agency said it was working to identify organised crime groups who may have played a part. The trailer arrived at Purfleet on the River Thames from Belgium. Ambulance service discovered the bodies of 38 adults and 1 teenager in the container. Police said the tractor unit, the front part of the lorry, came from Northern Ireland and picked up the trailer from Purfleet. Now taking a look at some news from Syria. As Turkey and Russia have come into an agreement, Turkey does not expect any contact with the Syrian army on the ground as part of a deal to get rid of Kurdish forces along the Syrian border. Ankara and Moscow reached a deal to drive Kurdish fighters from the Turkey border along Syria. As part of a deal, Syrian and Russian forces are deployed in the area to remove Kurdish militia and their weapons from the border. In an interview with foreign media recorded by the Turkish Defense Ministry, he said that all necessary measures were taken to avoid contact with the Syrian army on the ground. The defense minister also said that the number of Turkish observation points in Syria will be reevaluated according to the needs and conditions. The deal struck by President Vladimir Putin and Tayyip Erdogan expands on the US brokered ceasefire deal last week and seals the return of his ally President Bashar al-Assad's forces to the northeastern border for the first time in years. While Tuesday's deal addresses Turkey's call for the YPG to be pushed back from the border.
Up next is a sports roundup with Muad Rasik.
Starting off today's sports roundup with news here at home. The opening ceremony of the 45th National Sports Festival concluded at the Vincent Das Stadium in Badulla today. The Champions Network of the MTV-MBC Media Network are the official media sponsors for this year's National Sports Festival. The opening ceremony was held under the patronage of the Minister of Sports, Harin Fernando. More than 2,000 athletes from all 9 districts are set to take part in this year's event, which will span for 4 days. In news in the world of cricket, Bangladeshi cricketers have agreed to call off a strike after reaching a deal with the BCB on higher pay averages. The Bangladesh Cricket Board said it had agreed to most of the players' demands after they put forth an 11-point list on Monday and said they would not play until those were met. The resolution means Bangladesh's tour of India, which is set to start on the 3rd of November, will go ahead as planned. Bangladeshi Test captain Shakib Al Hasan, who led the players in discussion with the board, said he was happy with the outcome.
Well, that's all the news we have for you today. A reminder that you can keep track of all these stories and more on our award-winning website, www.newsfirst.lk. Thank you very much for watching. I've been Saturanga Puarachi.
And I'm Michaela Fernando. Take care and good night.